Was this one of the easiest squads to pick after what happened a month ago?
Yeah, we had a few injuries in the last camp, didn't we? So understandably, they're going to get called back into it. So a couple of decisions with who to leave out, a couple of injuries that we've had to miss out on. But yeah, we continue the momentum. Hopefully now, Rob, that we finished with in the last camp.
Brennan Johnson back.
Yeah.
How hard is he going to have to fight to get into a starting place?
Well, it's competition for place, isn't it? We've always said we want that. It's a good problem, a good problem for a manager to have, and he adds quality, doesn't he? A different type of player, of course, he is to Kiefer as a 9, but Brennan's proving at club level again he can play a multitude of positions, as can DJ, as can Kiefer, as can H. You know, so we've got quite a few now that are competing for those top positions.
And he's playing, which is the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had an analysis meeting on Monday, and we also go through the minutes that the lads have played. Off the back of the last game against Croatia, 7 of the starting 11 weren't playing at club level. It's changed dramatically in a month, so when we go through the minutes that the lads are playing now, over the last few weeks, there's a lot of players coming into camp in a healthier position then. So, yeah, you run the risk of injuries because they're playing week in, week out, so you can't control that. But what it means is we are going to spend the first couple of days getting, from a conditioning point of view, getting them up to speed, ready for that first game. So it does make the training a little bit less complex.
The one new face, Niall Huggins. Tell us about him and what he's done to impress you.
Yeah, I really like Niall. I have done for a while since I first came into the job, albeit he was in a different position. He was a wide player. He's athletic. And it goes to show that even as a young player, when you leave the age gap of the under-21s, that you're not out of the system. Once you're part of the family and you're in the system, that's it. We'll continue to monitor you. And he's playing with a young team. I like how they play. They're full of energy, and he can play both sides for us, right and left. You know, with how we play with wing backs, I think that position suits him as well. He's a very attack-minded player anyway. So he fits into how we want to play really, really well. And with having more strength in depth and competition for places, again, creates that healthy environment.
No, Ben Davis, you think is okay because
Yeah.
he's missed a bit for Spurs, hasn't he? Missed Monday night.
Yeah.
Probably a good thing in a way. And
Yeah.
no Aaron Ramsey. What's the timescale with him? Do you know?
Well, I don't know timescale, but all I know is he's out of our camp. So that's disappointing. I found out on Friday last week. So, yeah, as we all know, Aaron was pushing to get himself fit for this camp. And unfortunately, it's come a little bit too soon for him. You know, he's had a setback. He got up to about 90%. If you'd have seen him on the grass running straight lines, everything was fine. But there's something stopping him from going that last step. So, yeah, it's not great for us, but like I said, it gives others an opportunity, and the strength that we've got at the top of the pitch now, it's disappointing, but we get on with it.
And given his proximity around, is he likely to be around anyway?
Absolutely, yeah, he's the captain, so he'll be a part of it. Like I had that conversation with him for him last camp. We knew we weren't going to play any minutes with regards to in the changing room, but just having Aaron Ramsey in and around the lads is definitely beneficial.
Do you think you're going to have to win both games to qualify?
We want to win both games to qualify. We want to win both games. We'll be going into it. It's in our hands. If we'd have said at the start of the campaign, we're going to go into the final two games, with it being in our hands to qualify, we'd take that all day long. So 2 wins, we might not need to, but 2 wins we're after.
And Armenia, what does that pose? You know what they pose as a team because you saw it all too well in Cardiff, but what about at home?
Well, yeah. Look, the form coming into this isn't great, but we know that on their day, they can more than compete. And we felt that in June. I want a reaction out of the players from that performance, which we will do. We've proven since that we're more than capable of playing against the top teams in world football, not just in Europe. So as long as we maintain those standards, Rob, that we've set in recent games and camps, irrespective of who we're playing against, I firmly believe, and the players do now, that the two games will take care of themselves from a result point of view.
And I must ask you, Rob, there was a lot of music, background noise going on over the last camp.
Yeah.
Since then, you've had a meeting with Noel Mooney, the president. Steve Williams was there as well. Noel Mooney called it a chat. How would you characterise it? And Do you feel now everyone is pulling in the same direction?
Absolutely. It was that. It was a conversation that all three of us needed. I'm not going to go into detail of what was said, but it needed to be had, it needed to be done, and only positives will come from it. I'm due to meet him straight after the press conference today, so we're going to go and have a coffee together and a chat, and things were said, it was put to bed, and that was it. We all move forward in the same direction.
Would it be fair to characterise it as clear the air meeting?
Well, look, there was things said that needed to be said, and we all want the same outcome. We all want to be successful for Wales and win games of football and qualify for major tournaments. And there's a process that goes along with that, with introducing these young players that I'm doing again now. And everybody understands that now, and there's a clear understanding of what's needed for the future.
And without labouring the point, you feel more comfortable now because you're clearly, whatever you call it, annoyed, uncomfortable.
Frustrated.
You feel frustrated, yeah. You feel more comfortable now.
Yeah, look, nothing changes. We want to continue to win games. We want to continue to qualify. We want to continue to introduce young players into the squad. Matty's here today. We've got a great relationship where we saw it against Gibraltar. I give 4 young players caps. So we're in such a healthy position with people like Charlie Savage stepping up and giving the level of performance he did. Joe Lowe stepping up. Regan Poole. All right, they'll go back down now and play with the 21s. They're not in the squad, but training together, being with each other on camp is definitely beneficial. So it's not just about the here and now, it's about the next generation of these young players coming through. So we have to manage that and be sympathetic in that as well. But it was a positive meeting. We're all in the same place now. And like I said, I'm going to go and meet him after before I go up to Ferndale later on.
Cheers.
Thanks, Rob.
All right. John.
Hi, Rob.
Afternoon.
I'll tell you about my journey after this. Just coming back to Aaron, there was some talk initially when the injury happened that surgery may be required. Was that ever on the agenda with you? I take note you said he got up to 90%. He was obviously in your thoughts and close, but with a setback, is there potential for surgery?
Oh, I don't know, Geraint. That's not part of my... I couldn't give you a medical opinion on it, so you'd have to speak to the medical team with regards to that. All I want to know is, are my players fit? If not, brutal as it sounds, I have to move on and get the next player in to make sure we compete. So it's frustrating for him because he got so close. Now, there's obviously a reason as to why he can't get to that next step. That's over to the medical team to sort that.
Was there any opportunity, I don't know if opportunity is the right word, where he might not have been available for the Armenia game, and obviously the travel that entails, but he could have been available for you for the Turkey game? Was that ever a possibility?
No, that was never even a discussion. So when I speak to my medical team about the squad that I'm going to pick, and we touch base once a week, whatever, about the games that are played on the weekend, that was never even part of the process, the thought process about potentially having him for the second one. So it's significant enough to keep him out of the camp and not just the first game. And
can I just, on Ben Davies, it's sort of his fitness, obviously he missed the 111, 112 minutes that went on Monday night. Yes. But he had a niggle, I think that was described by Tottenham. What is his fitness status coming into camp? No, he's fine. I spoke with Ben. I was the same as you guys, wondering what was going on, and reached out to him, and yeah, it's fine. He's all right. He's okay. We'll see what happens on the weekend with regards to whether he plays or not, but I've got no concerns over Ben at this moment in time. And if he plays, captain, as per the last window? Absolutely. Absolutely. I thought he was not only led by example on the pitch, I thought he was outstanding on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, what he offers and what he brings and how he conducts himself in front of that young group is brilliant. Just picking up with obviously the questions that Rob had about the unnecessary noise from last time round. Was one of the issues with you, I don't think any of us here have seen you with a face like you had last time round, and obviously Alan and Tony came into the press conference beforehand to show their support for you. Disrespectful, would that be a correct word for the noise that was going on around you from the chief executive? Unnecessary. That's it, and we move forward, Geraint. So we've dealt with it. We're in a great place, and full focus is now all on the football. So I don't want to waste any more time speaking about it. We've dealt with it. We're all on the same page. We all know what we've got to do, and I want to throw full focus. It'd be disrespectful from me now if I continue to keep talking about it to the players. Let's just focus on the players and let them get on with their job of winning games of football. Could you have imagined back in June that you'd be in this position? In your hands. Forget what you have to do. It's in your hands, though. Could you have imagined the position back in June when you were poring over what happened then?
Maybe not after how I felt after the end of the game in June and the camping game. Look, it's the home game that was the bump in the road. Even Turkey away, you know, it was always a tough place to go with 11 players on the pitch. But when you go down to 10 men so early on in the game, then it's always going to be a battle, isn't it? You know, so we knew coming into camp after the World Cup changes had to be made. And we go away in March and we get an unbelievable point in Croatia, and the manner in which we got the point at the end was incredible. And it showed, again, strength and depth, that the changes that we made on the hour mark improved us and helped us get that draw, that all-important point, by the way. And so we believed then that we could go and compete, and not just compete, but give ourselves a great opportunity to go and qualify. So back in March we had that belief. June was a bump in the road. We didn't like it, we didn't appreciate it, we didn't like what we saw, but we put it right in September and some. And then we've built on that in October and capped it off with arguably one of the best performances, not just results, performances that I've seen, certainly since I've been in my tenure. And we've got to build on that. That will count for nothing now if we don't follow it up. It's sustaining those levels of consistency and our identity and what we're all about that's got us those results. And we go and do the same for the 2 games. And if we do that, the results will take care of themselves.
Do you feel yourself and the coaches have some stability with the team, whether it be on the training pitch and then during games? I was going to say to you then, the performance against Croatia, we're all asking ourselves, when have we seen a performance like that, as good as that? We talk about the Austria game in the playoffs, then the game against Turkey in Baku, that performance as well. But then following on from Latvia, where you were utterly dominant as well. Are things just beginning to click with the young players you're bringing in, having stability with your coaching team as well? Do you feel more comfortable that things are just working, coming together?
Yeah.
And that's what resulted in Croatia. And I know from your point of view, 2 wins coming up now in November.
Yeah, we've said, some of the staff have spoken, you know, you're not privy to every conversation we have with staff, of course not, but we've always said that one day, you know, a team will get it. They'll get it when we all click together. You know, we could have scored more goals against Croatia as well, and that was pleasing for me. I've been critical of myself and how we play with regards to, we've proven we can keep clean sheets. Then we weren't creating enough chances. So we then went into games where we were creating chances, Latvia away, for example, creating enough chances to win 2 games of football, but not being clinical and being ruthless in our mentality to finish our actions. When it all comes together, then we'll be a force to be reckoned with. And when we do, it's then about sustaining that level of performance and being, you know, consistent with it. And if we do that, then we'll compete time and time again with the top teams.
Yeah. Cheers, Rob. I just wanted to touch on the 3 lads at Leeds, Ampadu and James and Roden. I was watching the Leicester game last week, which was absolutely phenomenal. The taking the step back to almost go forward, though, it's kind of an interesting one in a footballer's career. Yeah,
absolutely. They're really enjoying the football at the minute, and you can see that. You don't need to speak to them. You can see that in how they're playing on the pitch. Joe Roden's gone to another level again for me. I big JJ up rightly so after his performance against Croatia. Having watched the game back about 20 times. Ethan was outstanding, really was. And I think because he's at a club where he's happy, he's settled. He's not had that for probably 2 or 3 years now, Ethan. You know, he's been at clubs, he's been at other countries where he's fighting relegation or for whatever reason. He seems settled. He's in a top club, a massive club. And I'd say the same about all 3 of them, Joe, Ethan and DJ. DJ went back after camp and scored after goal after goal, and 3 of them are oozing with confidence, so that's brilliant for us.
And for Dan in particular, he had such a tough time at Manchester United and all the stuff that was going on social media. It's taken a lot to kind of pick himself up, I guess. Yeah.
Look, there was a lot of pressure put on him when he went to Man United, one of the biggest clubs in world football, and he went from scoring goals in the Championship to, he hit the ground running at Man United, and he went in and gave such a good account of himself scoring goals that it was hard to drop him. The thing is, with young players, you've got to manage the development, and for me, there would have been a time to pull him back out, take that pressure off him, instead of continue to play him, and the pressure mounts. And for whatever reason, he continued to play, and understandably, young players hit a drop in form, and he did, and he took some criticism, but he's a strong lad. He's got a good family around him, a good support network. We love having him on camp. He loves being here. The coaches are great with him, and we're seeing the best Daniel James again now, because when he's on fire, he's probably one of the best players in European football, and there won't be a defender out there that will be wary of his pace as a threat.
Another player who's really stepped up in recent weeks is Harry Wilson, scored twice against Croatia and seems to be really galvanising as a regular Premier League player now.
Yeah, and I think I'd even go back maybe 12 months where H would turn up and expect to be maybe part of the squad, or if he started, he'd be substituted on the hour mark, and it's changed now. The mentality's changed. I see him now that he's playing in the Premiership, scoring goals, creating chances, and when he plays for us now, he's one of the main men. You know, he showed that in the last game, but I don't expect him to come on now and just accept playing for 55, 60 minutes, and I want him with that mentality that he's one of our top players now, that he's going to go and win games of football for us, and he certainly stepped up to the plate against Croatia.
I know Charlie Savage made a bit of a splash in the last window, didn't he? But he's dropped back to the 21s. Can you just tell us your thinking kind of with that?
Yeah, again, Matty's here with the 21s. It's great having them on camp with us because it is like that club environment. I've always said that we need to sympathetically introduce these young players up. Would it have been right to throw him in against South Korea? Probably not. But the Gibraltar game was a perfect step up for him, and Joe Lowe and Regan and and Culls, Liam Cullen. So to give them the opportunity to do that hasn't hurt them at all. It's shown everybody, the Welsh public, as coaches, what they're capable of doing. Yeah, against lesser opposition, I get that, but he's going in the right direction, Charlie. He's got bags of energy that I absolutely love. Yeah, there's aspects of his game that we can tweak and improve him on, but he's going to do all right, and it's great that we can see him train again this week, and if need extra bodies, we'll get them over and they'll train with us, so that it's more of a fluid blend then. And
just finally for me, the World Cup experience and the playoffs that you went through for that, this is almost a playoff, isn't it? Win these 2 games and you're in. It doesn't matter about league positions or anything like that. It's a simple equation. Are you going to take some of that World Cup qualification playoff into this?
Yeah, slightly different because they are in quick succession, within 4 days. But having gone through the experiences, having gone through the pressure, the lads they'll be fine with that. We are going to treat it as one game at a time. That's the message to the players. It's all about the first game. The planning, the prep on Monday has all gone into it. We've left nothing to chance, then put it that way. So speaking to the players, seeing the environment, the atmosphere in the meeting room on Monday, we can't wait to get on camp.
Thanks, Lawrence. Any couple more questions, or are you okay, written press? Next, okay, diolch. If the one-to-one interview's being done here?